That was a nice abrupt start to my music. Hello, Planets. Nice to see you. Of course, when I want to go live, that's when everything seems to freeze. My mouse stopped working, so I couldn't go into my different scenes. But we are here. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know in the live chat where you are tuning in from. I am here in Sydney, Australia. It is just half past midday on a Tuesday afternoon. So my husband and my younger son, they're off to do their group support work here thingy. So my son's homeschooled, and they have just recently joined a group for different young adults with special needs. So he's excited to do that. So let me know where you are tuning in from. Hopefully my mouse will work and it'll allow me to move from scene to scene. If you are watching me on Instagram, hello. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. If you do want to experience the full desk view, I am also live streaming on YouTube, both very vertical and horizontal. But to be able to see my full desk screen, it'd be great if you can join me on the main horizontal. I never know my horizontal and vertical. So you can join me there, or you can just watch, of course, wherever you are. I will just appreciate your company today. So what are we doing today? I'm going to be creating these do-it-yourself traveler's notebook passport size notebooks or inserts. So those names will be interchangeable today. So let me know where you are tuning from. Let's see who is here today. I see so many of you already popping by. We have, hello, Miss Ocampo. Hope you are well. Thank you so much for joining. And my lovely friend Claire from the Maxaras. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me. And hopefully I can keep you company while you are doing your editing. So we had a quick chat before me going live. So Miss Ocampo, howdy from Texas. Nice to see you. Hopefully the writing's going well. And hello there, Sheila. Positive Changes is here in the house. Thank you so much. And Claire is from Adelaide. That's another state here in Australia, the South Australian. So that's sort of like the bottom of Australia in the middle bit. And so I'm sort of on the never eat. I have to do never eat soggy wheat. I'm in the east coast of Australia. So thank you so much for joining. Sounds like we will have fun. Yes, we will have fun anytime there's technical friction. There's always fun because we don't know what's going to happen. As far as what am I on, nothing. I've just had lunch, so my belly's full. Although it was like, oh, my tummy, probably not the best time to have the rumbly tummy, but we are going to have fun. How pretty is your pink cutting mat? Yes. Let me see if I can do this. Does it allow me to show you? Ooh, yeah. So I saw a few people, who do both unboxing and not just creative and crafty stuff, but also techie stuff, that they do have, the nice cutting mat. And we got to have color. We got to match the theme. Thank you for noticing the pink cutting mat. Miss Ocampo is watching while I journal and fill out my Hobonichi week. Will go to sleep once I finish. Well, thank you so much. We can keep each other company while you are filling out your Hobonichi. Current total word count on my novel is 26,715 words. Wowie, wowie, woo woo. That is fantastic indeed. I appreciate everyone joining in. And of course, remember, if you are on Instagram as well, I will be able to bring up your comment, although my iPad is connected to my computer and it's losing its connection, but it doesn't matter. We're going to keep going. The show must go on. All right. So what am I doing today? So I've been seeing quite a few on my YouTube homepage, what's called field notes. They're actually a type of little notebooks. Well, they come in both little sort of like pocket-sized notebooks. I think they also sell A5 size and many different sizes. But if you ever see, for those of you who are planner and stationery enthusiasts, Field Notes is actually not a planning system, it's a brand of notebooks. So I'm going to actually refer to my notes that I wrote in my own little pocket notebook. So Field Notes is a brand. So it was originally created back in 2007 for that, not just farmers, but like what farmers will use when they're out in the field, and then they're going to take note of stock and all their things, because it's something that you would carry with you, and then when you get back to your desk or your office or wherever, all the information you have written in your field notes while you're out in the field can be transferred into its permanent system. Just like bullet journaling has taken on a life of its own. So from when originally Ryder Carroll, used just bullet points, right? Field Notes is sort of like has taken a trending thing that I have just recently seen on YouTube, because of course, as a planner and stationery enthusiast, that's what the algorithms will show me. Okay, so let me quickly double check my notes for you. So Field Notes allows you to capture things while you're away from your main planner. So let me move on to my desk. So technically, this is not my a notebook that I will do most of my planning. I have separate notebooks for that. So and separate planners. I have my A5. So this is where I do the productivity, the weekly planning, my brain dumping, my habit tracking, my self-care, any content creation stuff, my calendar. Okay, my calendar, my habit trackers, my self-care planner pages or well-being planner pages. This is my main planning and well-being and self-care productivity and how I plan my week. Okay, so also my daily pages and morning journal. So that's one of my planners. Okay. The other planner that I use, because sometimes I don't want to show all of my, daily to-dos on camera, because it's, might have something to do with business or ideas that I don't want you to know yet until I come out with the content. So I also have a traveler's notebook in the passport size. This houses my daily pages, all right? So this is more the detailed things that I would write on, the things I need to do for each day. And one of the other main ones is my personal size. So at the moment, this is the Filofax Croc, and this is where I will do my reflection, my journaling, my worry log, I hold also my video ideas here, and so more the reflections type of things that's going on inside my head. So as someone who loves trying out new things, I did see the field notes. So many people will use something like this. So, it's something that you would put in your pocket, put in your bag. The field notes, the measurement, I think, is 89 millimeter by 140 millimeter. So it fits nicely in a pocket. The traveler's notebook size is the same width, but I think a little bit shorter. Okay, so let me quickly have a look. We have, Sheila says, I still make my planner in my, Marianne's getting her words all jumbled up. I still make planner in monthly journals like you were making a few months back. Excellent. I love that. Yes. So this one is the idea that I have a majority of those that are YouTubers that use field notes are like to capture ideas on the go, or they want to replace their phone, instead of writing their notes and ideas on the phone app, which, can distract you with all the pings and notification. A lot of them I have found who've been writing in a little notebook like this, they say what they've found is they are, not getting distracted by their phones or digital stuff. They carry it along with them. So when an idea or a thought or a memory or anything pops up, this is a great capture. So if you can think of something that you can write things down, but it's all encased in one, maybe this could also be, brain dumping. So I'll show you in a second how I use this so far, because it can change. So some of the different ways, if you are thinking of carrying or buying the actual brand field notes, I think they come in a pack of 3 for, the smaller size. I'll give you some of the different ideas. So let me just read you the little notes that I took about what field notes. Okay, so this is not another full planner that, I'll need to maintain, because it's just really whatever's in my head, just pop it down. This could be a bridge between, if I'm not at my desk, or if I don't have my planner handy, this is somewhere I can, quickly jot things down. It's a lot simpler as well for those of you who are like me, get quite eager and excited setting up new planners, but then a bigger size may suddenly become too much of a commitment once you're, 2 to 3 weeks in, or 2 to 3 months in. So this is a really good, easy way. It's not structured. You can go and create whatever. You don't have to, set it up and create all the different spreads. Miss Ocampo says, when I was traveling in California, I used an off-brand traveler's notebook called Voyages. It had 3 different slim notebooks in one, and it was so great to have during my vacation. Exactly. So it's nice to have on the go. I'm currently thinking about what kind of planner journal I want for next year. Yes, because this is the season where, July, August is the season for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, your spring planners are coming out. So this is a really good time to decide, if you maybe want to change things up. Laura, hello, nice to see you. Hello, Marianne and Plannerettes. Okay, so this sort of like system, it's simpler. There's no setup. You don't have to create any spreads. You can carry it everywhere. So I actually took this with me yesterday when I went to the shop. And of course, as I was walking, I stopped midway. I'll show you the pen that I carry with it in a second. And then I was able to write down, what did I write down? I think an idea came and popped into my head. Okay, it's a short page. So this particular one that I'm creating with you along today, I think it has 60 pages. So you don't have to be too committed to try and fill it up for, like the whole year or 6 months worth. You can go and, create a few of these or buy a few simple notebooks. You can also use spiral notebooks. I think Create by Monya, she uses spiral notebooks. And then it's not so intimidating because you don't have to, feel pressure to try and fill it in with things that, you go, oh, well, I don't really want to fill in my goals or anything like that. And it's great to get, carry with you. And it doesn't matter if it gets bent or gets torn, well, not torn up, but gets sort of like that wear and tear. And I see the great thing that I see others are doing with the field notes, which is I'm going to do for this as well, is you can archive them. So I have now used one of the number sticker. So this is my first one. I've added a little date there with those, stamper things. I don't have it handy with me. So I started it on the 10th of August. And then once I finish it at the end, I'll put the date there. And then this is a Traveler's Notebook Midori or Traveler's Company brand. And then I can go and archive them. So once I finish one, I can go and pop it in here. So I can just imagine, you know, having lots of these, labeling them. And there are so many creators that I have, you know, have been doing it for 9 years, and they have collections. The field notes, one of the, you know, the things that people like to do is to collect the different covers, because you can have the different covers. But I'm just going to make my own, because if I know, for me, if I don't find any, and then they're all, one is different, it's gonna send my brain into a bit of a glitch. Miss Ocampo says, my brain must be tuned to when my planner season is happening. Such a coincidence, because it's, yeah, it's, I guess, the spring season, you know, the newness, and you want to create that novelty and remove the staleness from, you know, using similar things for a number of months and everything. So, and I think too that my brain just creates novelty and something new and something creative. All right, so let me just quickly note down as well, just very quickly. So, yep, you can use the notebook while you are living your life. I like this. I like that thing is, while you're living your life and something pops up, you know, you can just write it down. So let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see a little bit more. So this is just a cardstock. I can hear my phone somewhere. This is just a 120 120 GSM printed paper, and then I've added the date stamp #1. So this is book 1, and then I just, you know, whatever little sticky notes. I've got some sticky notes here, some extra post-it notes. So once this is finished, I'll just move it to the next one. And then what I'm using it for is daily brain dumping. So what I've been doing this in just a loose leaf paper, where before I start my day, before I even get myself stuck in a spiral, it's just whatever's in my head, I write it down, no particular order, same way that I do my brain dump, task, list, thoughts, and just, you know, and then I highlight in green what I would like to do for that day. So it's not my to-do list, it's just what's in my head. And then just add some stickers. So as you can see, I penciled in here how I was going to create these little lined printable, more midday brain dump, you know, some stuff that went, oh, I better check last week's incomplete. This is the measurement of the traveler's notebook. So I'll just take that off for those of you who want to create your own traveler's notebook passport size. And then there's my notes. So I start, you know, I looked at what field notes and what it was all about. And then on Sunday, I did City to Surf. So this could be a nice memory keeper. So it's just a smorgasbord or a buffet of different things. There is no rule. You can use this for whatever you want. More notes. And then I use different colored ink. I'll show you that in a sec. Some video ideas, more notes. And then this was today's brain dump, okay? So those are the different uses I'm going to have. The other things I'll talk about as I create it, because you guys are probably going, can we get to the creating part, Marianne? But I just want to make sure that you get ideas on how you can use it. So let's have a look. What can you use it for? My eyesight's going. I think I have it somewhere written down. Okay, so it helps you not look for your planner. If your planner's not around, you can just note things down. You can write your thoughts, your feelings, quotes. If you even like junk, what do they call it? Junk journaling. If you've got receipts, it helps you keep you off your phone. By handwriting, it's a great way for you to recall stuff. And the small size makes the imperfect use, right? Imperfect use adaptable. So if I wanted to do drawings, you know, if Miss Ocampo is out and about and she's going, oh, that'll be a great, you know, great idea for my book. Let me write that down. If Laura has, you know, songs for the choir to sing and here's some great stuff. If Claire from the Maxaras has a great reel idea for her Instagram, those are the sort of different things you would write in it. And then I use a bulldog clip as my pen holder because I don't want to add any of those, you know, the little elastic pen holders because I'll probably finish this in a few days. Again, more post-it note in the back. But with your bulldog clip, if you, and this is for any of your planner, if you want extra pen holder, just clip it, leave a little bit of space right there. And then, so then if you have any pen that has a little clip, you just slide it inside there and voila, you have a pen holder. I do have a Filofax Ollie clip to just keep everything together. All right, and then that can go in my bag, ready to go. I don't have to worry about carrying this or carrying, you know, a bigger size planner, and I can just go and write. Now this here, if you have, let me see if I can see any of my, I have lots and lots of sticky note flags here. If you have any of these sticky note flags, okay, so I had one that was, I had only a few of them left, so I took it off and then I just cut this bit off. I cut that off and then just with a pair of scissors rounded the corner so then I don't poke myself. And then that is a little, great little ruler for on the go because I like to rule a little margin. Can you see the little margin in pencil? So then my little dot points are all lined up because if it's all sort of like a little bit wonky, my brain will glitch. And this is the Zebra Blend 4 Plus S pen and mechanical pencil. Okay, so let me show you. I'm going to show you in my little notebook. All right, so you have, let me zoom in a bit. Let me zoom in some more. So you have a, it's sort of like a black ink, okay? You have a red ink, and this is a 0.38. Let me just spotlight that so then it doesn't try and focus on my hand. And it has a green, okay, green, and then blue. And check this out. Check this out. Some people didn't know this, but so the plus S, see this little clip here? If you press it down, see how currently it has the blue ink refill? If you press it down, it's the mechanical pencil. There's a mechanical pencil in there. And then to make the lead come out, you just go press this. Press it down, look, and it comes out. So there is a Zebra Blend where it's just 4 ink. And then this, so you have to look for the 4 Blend, BLEN 4 plus S. So that's 4 ink plus the little mechanical pencil. So then, because normally I'm sitting at my desk most times, right? And I use so many different pens. I've got the Uniball, I've got Pentel, I've got Pilot, I've got fountain pens, I've got all of these, and they're just sitting here on the little, you know, pencil holders or pen holders. But I can carry all these different colors plus a pencil in one. So now my little pocket notebook, I can have different writings. So for my brain dumping, for my note taking, for important info, for video ideas, and then of course the pencil to help draw that little line. Isn't that great? So it's like, yes, it does pay off to make these purchases along the way when you have lots and lots of pens already. Where are we? I know I saw some people. My brain must be Shania. Hello, morning all. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. And Miss Count, funny you should mention that. I used my mouse is Hobonichi Weeks as my thinking idea book. I recently wrote down a bit of inspiration for the wedding dance scene in my novel. Fantastic. I love that. And then your brain also starts to trust you because, oh, well, you wrote down those ideas in a little notebook in your Hobonichi. If you have, dedicated planners or dedicated little notebook for those things, and your brain will start to trust you, and then it won't try and hang on to those information because our brain is not meant to store. It's not a memory storage. It's for creating, for coming up with ideas. It's for processing and decision making, not as a storage system. And that's why I thought this little pocket notebook would be great to just jot down things as I go, Yes, evening all. Thank you. Hello, Sarah. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me over on Instagram. I appreciate you. Hello there, Dominique. Thanks for these lives. Very much appreciated. No, thank you for joining. I know sometimes when we're all in different parts of the world, we cannot catch each other. I try to go live early most times, so then because most of my viewers are in the US. Love my Australian and all over the world plannerettes, but the majority are in the US. So, I too crave these little moments where I can catch up with you because it can get a little bit lonely sometimes. All right, so I'll keep going with more information. If you have any questions, let me know. So I'm going to now zoom out so we can see my whole desk because I need for you to see everything that I am doing. Now I've run out of room because I've moved things around. Okay, so a planner, traveler's notebook. Oh, sorry, I zoomed out, but now I need to zoom in. So just have a look. So this is for a traveler's notebook passport size, okay? So if you want to do a screen grab, so the insert itself, like the size of the page that's inside is 124 millimeter by 89 millimeter or 4.88 inches by 3.5 inches. The passport cover, so which is going to be this one, but opened, because you got to fold it in half, okay? So I've got quite a few different printed cardstock here. So that came from one 12-inch by 12-inch. Okay, so the cover, if you want to make your own, again, the beauty of making your own is you can customize it. If you want it narrower, maybe you have a bag that has a narrow pocket, make it narrower. If you want to make it sort of like landscape, if you like to draw and create little drawings, maybe you want to make it shorter and narrower. It's all you can make different types of size notebooks for your needs, so you don't have to worry about buying, because I've seen people trim down the Fields notebook so then it fits their back pocket. Some of the gentlemen that buy them trim it down so it fits their jeans pocket, okay? But for a traveler's notebook, passport size, okay? So there again, so the cover is 124 millimeter by 178 millimeter, which is double the width, okay, double the width, or 4.88 inches by 7 inches. So if you are going to make your own, I highly recommend cut your cover first, because I will show you why, because then everything else that we trim off it will fit perfectly to the size you want it. Okay, so and I'll make sure to add these measurements as well in the description after. Okay, so cut your covers to size. All right, and a little tip as well is if you are using printed cardstock, make sure it's in the right orientation when you are folding it in half. So I mean, this one, if it was this way, it'd still be okay, but just make sure, because I've done it where I've cut it to size, and when it's folded like this, maybe it was upside down or the wrong orientation. All right. Good night, Miss Ocampo. Thank you so much for joining, and happy writing. Okay, so cut your cover page to size first, because then you already know that you have a good starting point. Okay, so I just printed out my own lined notebook. So you just, I'll angle it so you can see. So it's just blue line. But if you have any notebooks or any inserts that you don't use, or any spare paper that you have around, it doesn't have to be lined. You can have it grid, you can have it dotted, you can have it, rainbow colored ones. If Claire is still here, we love rainbow here, with the LGBTQIA plus, right? And so we're allies here, so we love rainbow. You can have different colors. You can use craft paper, anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this is an A4 size paper, because in Australia A4 is the most common size document paper. I'm just going to use my what do you call this, paper trimmer. You don't have to have a paper trimmer to cut your paper in half, but it's helpful. We are a homeschooling family, so I have all of these different, tools. So I just fold it in half just to get the midpoint. And then, so it doesn't have to be precise, because those edges I'm going to cut off anyway. So I just want to halve the paper. Okay, so this is 15 pages. So one of this will create 60 pages in a little pocket size or passport size notebook. So I'm going to put one of this aside, because we'll set that up another time. And because I cut this paper in the middle here, I know this edge is going to be all lined up. So I'm going to go and, have that as the bottom edge of my passport. Again, you don't have to have this. I just have this already from my, crafting days back in 2011, 2012, when I thought I wanted to make, what do you call this, greeting cards and envelopes. So I have this. You don't have to have one, but I like to use the corner to help me push the corners evenly. And then it has the little bone to go and, what do you call this, create sharper crease. So let me have a look. Andy, hello, nice to see you from Rhode Island. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. If you see me struggling, it's because my mouse is sticking. I think I've run out of battery for it, or something's glitching on my little tech side, but that's okay. We are going to go along with it. So I'm deciding whether I want to, maybe give this this printable for free. Not promising anything yet, because it's just very simple blue lines. So so if you are an email subscriber of mine, maybe you might just get the printable for it. So it's just a nice, simple, very faint blue line. So it's not, if you wanted to make any little drawings, it's not going to be standing in the way. All right, so first, it doesn't matter whether you have an A4 size paper or a letter size paper. Of course, once folded in half, you want to make sure that it's will fit the size of whatever notebook that you want. So I'm just folding it all in half just to make it easier on here. This is what I love about being able to create your own, you know, planner pages. Let me just see if I can put some music on. So then that way we can hear a little bit of music. Is it on? Is it playing? I can't hear anything, but that's okay. So hopefully it's not too distracting. Hello from Instagram. If you are joining me on Instagram, make sure to say hello in the live chat. And same for those of you here on the YouTube, whether you're in the vertical or the horizontal. I love seeing where you're tuning in from. What I'm making is I'm just making my own pocket size, no, sorry, traveler's notebook, passport size insert, which I am using as a sort of like an inbox or a capture in the moment. So this is not going to be my, you know, my full planner. This is sort of like a place for me to go and, oh, I can hear the music now, for me to go and, you know, do brain dumping, maybe memory keeping, maybe, you know, do some junk journaling, or you know, hold my receipts, ideas, anything that, you know, is in my head that I want to quickly write down without having to figure out, oh, where will it belong in my, you know, in my main planner. Okay, so there we go. So I know that this edge here is a straight edge, like as in I didn't, you know, cut it with the cutter. I'm going to try and make sure that it's all level. And then I'm going to take one of my printed cardstock. And so I know that at least that edge is going to be level with each other. Okay. Now, you don't have to have this. You can bind your little notebook either with just a normal stapler, if you know, you have one of the bigger staplers that will sort of like you'll be able to feed it there. But I bought this because I do make my own planner inserts. So this one is in the description if you want. This is called Boss Stitch. Okay, so it's great because then, as you can see from the edge here, what you would do is you would line up the spine of whatever little notebook you're creating. So if you create your own inserts, or, you know, if you even sell your own physical inserts, then it's a little good investment to have. Or if you're a teacher and you create lots of different little notebooks, I have the details in the description on my YouTube channel. Okay, so I'm just going to go probably there. I'll have the, all right, and just make sure that's right in the middle and press. And because it is quite industrial, it can go through quite a few number of pages without, you know, the staple not going through. So the staple went in the middle of the spine and also in the middle here. Okay, so now we can put that one aside. Whoop, is that too loud? I think that's too loud now. And again, I'm just going to go and crease that nice. Okay, so that edge here I don't have to worry about, but this side here I need to trim. So this is safety. Make sure safety, oh, we're not going anywhere yet. We're not ending yet. All right. So if you are going to use a craft knife, please keep your fingers out of the way. And just when you're cutting it, sorry, maybe that's just a little bit too close. When you're cutting it, don't press too hard on the pages that, you accidentally slip. So just glide the blade of your craft knife very softly. So it's just going through one page at a time, because see how thick that is. You don't want to be pressing it, trying to go through, tons and tons of pages, because that's when accidents might happen. You might slip, your hand might get fatigued, and then then the ruler will move. This is where the self-healing cutting mat comes in. I'm just sort of using the grid lines to help align the edge of the spine to the edge of the top. So then I can line up my ruler and it'll be all perpendicular. So I'm just going to line that there, line that there. That looks good. And then just gently glide. Okay, see, I'm just going through 1 to 2 pages at a time, just letting the blade of the knife glide through very softly, so then that way there is no accidents, because craft knives, they're very sharp. Okay, so just glide it through. So let me know if anyone creates their own little notebooks or their own little planners or their own little printable. And because sometimes if you've got all the tools already, we have a printer, again, because we are a homeschooling, I can feel something is okay. Just let the knife glide gently. That's always my fear, is that while live I cut myself, but knock on wood, I haven't had that. And look, now it's a nice straight edge, and then we're going to do the same with the edge. Now here's a little tip, because when you fold the cover in half, sometimes one edge is always going to be a little bit sort of shorter. So I go look for the shorter edge, so then that way everything behind it are going to be aligned. That looks good, that looks good. And again, because it's a do-it-yourself, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be precise. This is not, it's not being printed or cut by, machines. It's you, and the little quirkiness, the imperfectness of your planner makes it uniquely yours. Now I made mine lined paper. Normally I like dot grids or graph paper, but because I have a few pages all at once, the inner pages will be a little bit narrower than the outer pages. Okay, so we're just gliding. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful straight edge. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Andy says, I haven't in a while, but I have made pocket and standard traveler's notebook inserts. It's fun, yes, because then you can go and pick whatever, whatever cover you want. You can even go and draw or watercolor or paint on, cardstock, and then you can make your own cover page. Or if you have any, magazine covers you like, or you can create like a collage. Oh, so many different things. And then, because you want to make sure that the planners that you have is something that's going to bring you joy. So far, okay, so that's you know, going to be my book 1. This is going to be my book 2, book 3. And then if I start, you know, collecting, where did it go? Where did it go? Okay. And then if I start archiving these, right, so I'm sure I can squish many in there. And then, you know, label this or create fun covers. Imagine looking back, you know, in a few years' time and the progress you made. Because, you know, sometimes some of my journaling and reflection, I can get a little bit down, but then I could go, you know, I could flip back and go in some fun memories. You know, this is my younger son and my husband. I took a quick snap of them yesterday because they were laughing at some funny meme or funny video, and it's just a moment. So it's just, I think that's the thing that I sometimes miss in loose leaf planner pages, you know, that they're all not contained in one little notebook. So I love the nostalgia of having these little notebooks and creating. One of the things that I have, the recurring theme that these YouTubers that I watch was, you know, that they look back on their little notebooks from 3 years ago, and like the little doodling, the little ideas. Sometimes their kids would, you know, draw stuff on there and scribble things. They would glue little notes from their kids, or, you know, put little photos of whatever was in the moment. It's just a really nice little, you know, keepsake. And this is sort of like what a lot of the, you know, well, Miss Ocampo has gone to bed now, but, you know, a lot of the writers and a lot of the scholars, you find their scratches and their little notes. So maybe one day you know, your family will go, oh, you know, grandma, you know, grandma left all these wonderful little ideas and thoughts or whatever. So that's just a nice little keepsake to have. Laura says, here near me is a little business of a good woman who made notebooks herself. The covers are beautiful, and I help buy some from her. Exactly. Not only are you admiring art, you're also supporting you know, a little small business owner or an artist. So I love that. Yes, Andy says that's great to have someone locally get them from. Exactly. So, I mean, I would love to be able to make this, but at the moment my printer is playing up. I've got the wrong ink. You know, it's not printing so well. There's ink smudges. So I have to, if I do make these to sell, you know, because, you know, I had some of this, and then you just, you know, a pack of 3, and then different, because not everyone has a printer, not everyone has all these cutting machines, and, you know, or has time to do all of this, or they love you know, creative things that people create, but they may not want to be creating it themselves. There are more admirers than actual creatives. Now, again, this is from my, you know, wanting to create greeting cards back in the day. So I bought a crocodile corner chomper. I think this is We Are Memory Keepers, but you can buy corner punch now for very cheap. This was, you know, quite expensive at the time that I purchased it back in 2010, 2012, you know, before lots of manufacturers just make them. Was a lot of crafty stuff back in the day was very niche, you know, only 1 or 2 big brands make them. But now you can buy any, just like hole punches, corner choppers. But this one, I've had it for a long while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use actually the 1/4 inch rounded corner, so this end. So then that way I have them sort of like rounded like that. So if I do, you know, want to pop them inside my bag, or, you know, inside of a pocket, maybe while I'm walking out and about, just pop it in my, the pocket of my jacket or my pants. The corners aren't going to fold. So I'm just a few pages at a time, just cropping the corner, and then yeah, it just gives it that little bit of I don't know, it just softens. It just softens the little notebook. Again, the size that I'm making today is for the traveler's notebook, but just go have a look at whatever little notebook you have, and if you like the size, or if you go, oh, that's too narrow, or that's too wide, you can go and customize your own size little notebook, which is really handy. So if you don't have a printer, and if you're like me who uses Filofax, and a majority of Filofax planners come with those different inserts, ruled, lined, colored ones, go back and have a look for any A5 size, fold it in half, cut yourself a little cover, and you can create. So once I go through my stash of printables and inserts that I don't normally use, I'm going to make some in different colors, because I don't have to just keep them all just the white lined paper. I might go, you know what, I want some fluorescent paper. Okay, one more corner, and then just grabbing a few at a time. And yes, I mean, this should be able to go and manage a few pages at a time, because it is a little bit heavier and sturdier. Okay, let's have a look and just clean up as we go. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to grab my sticker notebook. So which one is it? This one. So I have the Carpe Diem number sticker pad, and because I've used up all the smaller numbers, but the bigger numbers, I now can use them on my little pocket-sized notebooks. Okay, so I already have my second book ready to go, my third book ready to go, and then let me see, do I still have it here, or did I move it at the top? Where? I don't think I have it. Did I move it already? I think, yeah, I think I moved. I have the, this, the little label maker that punches those. Might have to be for another video. Maybe I'll show that on another video. I thought I had it nearby. Did I move it somewhere? No, I can't see it. I cannot see it. It's not handy. Okay, so let me just clean up a bit. Let me move things out of the way. So, all right. So these are my do-it-yourself traveler's notebook in the passport size, using the idea from Field Notes, where the origin of Field Notes notebook are for the farmers who need to take their little notebook with them on the field, and then when they come back, they will transfer any important information to wherever they need to. So for me, there's the cover. There's some little handy sticky notes, so then I can go and, if there's stuff that I want to stand out, I can write it on sticky notes. I use it for morning and maybe evening brain dump to clear my head, ideas for planner inserts, midday brain dump, things that I've moved from the old planner. And this one here, I'm just going to add, that's the measurement of this traveler's notebook size. Okay, I have notes from what things I've learned, memory keeping, ideas for videos. And then I started off again with brain dumping for this morning. And I also have these little index tabs. So this one is from Daiso. I haven't managed to find anything of this size on Amazon. You can have little note tabs like this, but they are bigger size. So then I just have, here, field notes, info and ideas. This one is my pillar of contents. And so maybe at the back, what I might do is create a little index. Maybe I'll add the same little tabs that matches it. So then I could go, oh, the blue one is maybe that one. So I could quickly look for, but because this little notebook is only 60 pages, it's not as if I will lose, the information. And then I also add a little sticky note flag for anything that I want to. So for me, that's something that, hey, look at, maybe I'll color code it. Maybe the yellow are, video ideas. These little habit tracker, I think I bought this from a stationery store called Morning Glory here in Australia. So just a little get outside tracker. This is, I don't know what I want to call this yet. So some ideas is my real life planning capture or inbox, very David Allen, how to get things done. And then I've got some more printables there. Yeah, they're cute. Oh, thank you, Claire. Yes, so that's nice little, ideas. So, hey, Claire, when you're traveling and you buy yourself some little notebooks, it doesn't have to be do it yourself, but like any little spiral, those spiral notebooks you can buy, a pack of 5 and just a little handy, pen. So when you're traveling or you're waiting for pickups and you have ideas well, not while you're driving, but when you're out and about, because, of course, Claire from the Mixaris is a content creator friend of mine. So these are the things that we'll just, because, we can share reels and videos to our own account, or we can do screen grabs. I think someone uses one of their planners little notebook and they print their screen grabs. I can't remember who that account is, but they sort of like dedicate a little notebook for the screen grabs, because I do a lot of screen grabs, but I've never looked back at them. And the other use that I have for my planner, traveler's notebook, is, this is a printable that you can get from my shop. So if you just want a smaller daily page and you do have a traveler's notebook passport, then you can go and create your daily tasks and to-dos. And then I have this one. So this particular insert came with this Studio Milligram traveler's notebook, but I use it for my workout. So my little tracker of getting outside and going to the gym. I printed all these different machine exercises because I've just started doing some weight training and I'm very intimidated by the machines and I don't know how to use them. So I use my HP Sprocket. HP, I can't find it anywhere. Of course, I can't find it, but my HP Sprocket 200 printer. And then what the trainer told me to do, 3 sets, 10 reps. And so I use a notebook for my workout. Okay, so then I did one. When did I do this workout? On the 6th of August. These are the workouts I did. Just a nice little progress as well. Okay, so let me quickly have a look at other things that I want to mention. If you do want to also start using um, fields, field notes like capturing or inbox. So just some of the disadvantages of having it is, you know, it can become another planner that you might be upkeeping if you start to create systems in it. So you can fall into the trap of, oh, it's another, if you're like me who have multiple planners. Of course, this is not ideal for long-term planning that might go on, you know, over a few different notebooks. The other thing is, so for some who may not have small writing, it may feel too cramped. So it's not going to be for everyone, just like everything is not, you know, for everybody. But if you like to draw and doodle, or you're creative, or you like taking notes when you're learning, this is a nice handy thing to have. So I don't know yet what to call this. My some ideas is little life inbox, or maybe just my capture notebooks, or just my planner on the go, something simple like that. So really write it down before you forget. This is a place for you, especially you're like me, who's, you know, perimenopausal and forgets, you know, every little thing that goes into her head. So which is good. Have a great night, Andy. Thank you so much. Yes, of course. Well, you know, wear the flag. So if you don't know the Maxaras on Instagram, she has a shop along. So the Maxaras is Claire and her wife Nina, and their daughter. They created the wear the flag. So they have so she has these. She's created like post-it notes, pretty much her whole wall of the LGBTQI flag, and then also has merchandise. So make sure to check my friends out. So that's very much the sticky. Well, she loves sticky notes too. But yes, yeah, so I have some more sticky notes here. So then, if there's anything that I want to write down to stand out, maybe quotes. If you see any positive affirmation or quotes, or you know, maybe if you have, you know, children, and just leave some post-it notes, and then if they draw on it, that could be, and put the date. That's a nice little memory keepsake. Here we go. Hang on. Let me just see. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to try and create my own little thumbnails, so I don't have to worry about taking pictures of my thumbnails. I can just go and use that. Everybody out of the way? Excellent. All right, so now if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. Would love to try and get to 15,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And of course, if you are watching me on Instagram, give me a follow there as well. Would love for you to follow along. It's a smorgasbord of things, but a lot of stationery, do-it-yourself stuff, help you get through that little mindset and make sure we are looking after ourselves and putting ourselves on top of our list of things to do. We are the most important, because if we're not looking after ourselves, then of course we are not in the best position to help look after others. All right, so make sure, go to mariannecresp.com, sign up for my newsletter, because yeah, I will most likely give this as a free printable. So it's a nice light faint blue lines, and it's already it's a nice width, you know, it's not too wide, it's not too narrow. Yeah, I think I might, for at least for a little bit, give it as a freebie. But so make sure to sign up for the newsletter, and I'll create a sign up form sometime this week for those who may miss out when I do send it off on the newsletter. Okay, so make sure you do give this a thumbs up. Thank you, just Kin Picks. Thank you so much for popping by. I appreciate you so much. And the other thing is, if you want to make an A5 size notebook printable, I have my planner printable, the Ultimate Planner Bundle, which is this one. You can either grab it as for your A5 size. Okay, so calendar, it will have a calendar spread, habit tracker, it'll have a well-being planner spread. That video on how you can make your own A5 notebook printable. Thank you everybody for joining in. I will see you again next time. Bye Plannerettes. Bye-bye.